So this guy, this cop here, you'll see he's a psychopath. They're removing this girl from a youth center, so she's a youth. She was causing trouble there. So look, she's got the metal shackles. The youth does. She almost seems, I don't know what's wrong with her. Maybe she's not lower functioning spectrum. I don't know. Something's going on with her. Maybe she's just got some other stuff going on. But you'll see what happens here. They're bringing her out to the car. I got the newscast after I'm done talking about this, so you could see it for yourself. But I kind of wanted to break it down here. You know, who knows what's going on with this girl's family life at home. I'm guessing it's not great. Here he is, right here. So check him out. So he's like, "What's up, bro?" So watch him arrive on the scene, like big man on campus right here. "Hey, what's up?" He bros out with his boys, you know, with the high fives, and he holds his fist up real high, almost to force these dudes to give him some kind of German salute. This is a psychopath right here. So look at this. "Hey, what's up, bro? Right on, yeah."
You see, danger is my business.
You know, a lot of people...
This is a girl. You know, this is some kid at a youth center. And look at them. Look at this. They're deriving some ego off of kids. Wait do you see what he does? "What's up, bro?" A little pipsqueak there, sort of complies. So the girl's in the back of the car now because these G.I. Joes, they did the impossible. They got her in there. And they're standing around, sort of. Here we go. So you can see he antagonizes her with his tone. He uses a lower, stern tone, an escalating tone, which triggers her. She was already calmed down. He riles her up. You know, he's looking for a reason. He's looking for a reason. So she's crying, and she's sort of complaining, "I'm trying, you know, and try harder." So, and then she gets out of the car, and look, he starts beating on this little girl. She's in handcuffs. That's a man. Now, wouldn't it be like once upon a time, communities, say indigenous people or once upon a time, other men in a community be like, "You know, we don't really go for that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have to crush your feet. And then you can sort of belly crawl, look for food out in the woods," this type of thing. But we have our rulers, just like Rome did.
It began as an incident in December with a teenage girl leaving the youth services building and causing a disturbance. Deputies were called out to 2nd Street near Griegos Road. One of those deputies responding is Brian Lastly.
What's up, dude? What's up, big guy? How's it going, guys?
Deputies were dealing with a juvenile who they say already injured a couple of deputies and a court security guard. Lastly was called in to do the field investigation. The girl finally calms down until Lastly starts taking photos of her injuries.
All right, go ahead, stand up for me. All right, look at me. Stand up straight. Try a little bit harder.
She starts to get angry, and on body camera you can see Lastly push her.
All right, Lastly. Oh. Okay, get back in the car. Hey, stand up.
Other deputies step in.
He hit my head on the chair.
You tried to go after him.
He hit my head on the chair.
Hey, do that.
Sheriff John Allen says he called for an investigation into the incident. Investigators with the multi-agency task force asked Lastly about the struggle and whether he pushed the girl's head down.
Okay, so check this out. Look at this guy covering his mouth with his hand. That's a tell. He's hiding. He knows he's lying. And he's sort of being publicly shamed. He doesn't experience internal shame because he's a psychopath. But him putting his hand over his mouth is a clear tell. He's an idiot. He doesn't even know that that's a tell.
Can you recall, after grabbing the head, pulling the head up
before you pushed her down?
No, I didn't pull her head back or pull her head up.
Okay.
I could feel her kicking at me and kind of like posturing. And then I forced it back down.
Lastly claimed the girl was kicking him. They also asked how much force he used to push her.
What amount of force would you describe was used? You said you wanted her to think, "Oh, that hurts." Like, what amount of force did that involve?
Not much, like just like enough to like hit the floorboard and to think about the floorboard there.
Okay, ma'am, now that I've introduced you to the floorboard, are you thinking about the floorboard about now? That's kind of the goal here. Are we seeing eye to eye yet, ma'am? You got the floorboard in your mind, like literally?
Sheriff Allen also saying in a press release last month he was, quote, moving forward with termination action, and also calling out the deputy's alleged actions, saying if you cannot keep your composure and do the right thing when a situation is stressful, you do not belong in law enforcement. Gabe Chavez, KRQE, News 13.
BCSO told News 13 today that Lashley has not been fired yet, and they are awaiting an internal affairs investigation. They also say the other deputies in this incident are not being investigated or disciplined. And you might also remember Lashley was investigated for a crash in 2024 when he rear-ended a vehicle that he was chasing driven by Alexandria Gerard. According to APD investigators, Lashley was driving 70 miles an hour in a 25 mile per hour zone 5 seconds before that crash.
Well, how much you want to bet that guy increased his speed and just blasted in the back of that car, killing that driver? And he did it on purpose. He weaponized his vehicle, and he got away with it. They even said it was the guy died from Kesley's reckless driving, but he wasn't charged for it because he's a sovereign citizen.
APD investigators listed the cause of the crash as reckless driving, but Lashley was not charged. Gerard's family filed a lawsuit against him.
All right, so with all the bad cop fatigue, the bad apples, the guys on scene could have arrested this guy for assaulting a teen, but they didn't. So nonetheless, there has to be balance. So here's some actual footage of an actual good cop.